like that. The what's it called? Was it the skeptical pickle? Isn't that what?
No. Oh my god. And no.
Oh no, that's never mind. I'm thinking of yeah.
I can't remember what her name is.
Fuck, what's her name? I'm getting her. I'm getting our DM's girlfriends mixed up.
Skeptical Pickle is one of the DM's girlfriends at Lulu.
Oh wait, who is that? Who is skeptical pickle?
Skeptical
Who
Pickle's
do I think it is?
Skeptical Pickle is just a girl that joined the server a long time ago.
Have you ever watched the first stream?
I did, and I was like,
What the hell is it? But yeah, I mean, but she's got a, but she's got like how many freaking followers at a time?
at least in the 3000s.
Okay, so that's not who I thought it was then.
Really? There's a manga. I mean, there's been like 10. Obviously, just missed everyone. I just got like them first. I don't know. I done like 2 or 3 times, so there we go.
I'm not the I'm not the social media follower.
Ah,
Quick question. So like on the stream, so like it doesn't give me like an option to title it and everything. I don't know why.
what? You figured it out.
I think so. I'm a Bravo. I'm a 25 Bravo. We figure that shit out. I'm so happy the gang's all back together. Best friends.
Yeah, she's not going to be joining us.
Well, the sequel's always better. Like, three more. But I thought that the third one was always a money grab. Yeah, the third one's a money grabber, but the fourth one usually goes back to number one. No, the fourth is a reboot. Yeah.
Oh, shenanigans. I am streaming.
Oh, shenanigans?
Well, no, it's not that, but I was like editing the Discord, um oh god.
Whoa, why is what the
Stop.
what incarnation is going on here?
I was
I have a good idea.
I buh.
Well, that's fine. That's a good idea. Have any of us ever had actually good ideas? Yeah. Or do we just think that they're good ideas? So Monk always has the best ideas. We all know this.
No.
Apologize. I do gotta step away for about 15 minutes. I've had something just pop up real quick. I'll be right back.
Well, push it back down.
I was gonna say that's like what 5 minutes tops.
It's not that.
Awesome.
I could. I had to.
Oh, I had two as well.
We have new tabs.
New tags.
Yeah, there's a lot more tabs.
Oh, wait, why is Kate muted? Okay. Because I see Captain is in, and because he's not going to be joining us, he's muted. I know that, but I was wondering if I accidentally muted our Ellen.
You did it.
Yeah. Hooray.
Must be a MacBook.
An okay laptop this time,
It's
but
an
right now it's just
MSI,
kitty.
and it's
Bro, I have like an okay
Okay.
laptop if she needs one. Like that's like decent. It's not like
No,
you can't play like
she's-
fucking games, but
she can play games on hers. It's just it has some issues.
yeah. If yeah, I have like just random fucking
Problems
computers
that
laying
pops up.
around. So.
Anyway,
If someone does need a computer, let me know. I have like 3 or 4 that are just kind of chilling.
I'll take 3 or 4.
Yeah, you shut your whore mouth. No.
You shut your dirty whore mouth.
so I guess since everybody's here, except for the person who shall not be named that walked away for 15 minutes to deal
Lord
with something
Voldemort?
popping up. Will have to introduce everything, I guess. So last time on D&D,
Woo!
It's been a while since that's been said.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Last time on D&D, you guys went to investigate a king's health on the behest of his daughter, secretly. Hired by the, or rather, agented by the Knights of Palor, of which Cleek and Flint were part of.
Screw those guys.
While investigating the health of the king, the group found that it was his loss of health was caused by the very same jewel that Roland, Cleek, and most members of this group were searching for, which was the Stone of the Raven Queen. That is specifically meant to go into a goblet, Palor, to symbolize the union of the two gods. One astral event, basically a godly event past, which had the ability, when combined, to bring back the soul of the dead, even if they did not wish to come back, without any sort of necromancy or undead aspects from Orcus. Anyway, the king was killed by this jewel. The group managed to survive. Actually, sorry, I forgot one big part of it. The group saved a young girl called Kfir, tiefling girl, who ended up actually being the princess of a neighboring kingdom, and her brother Kar was the prince of said neighboring country as well. That was overthrown by a civil war, and their parents were killed, and so they've been trying to escape since, or rather survive. Cliff took it upon himself to protect Kfir, and by part to Kar, in which ended up coming with a little bit of betrayal by learning that Kafir was actually created, not an actual child of the king and queen such and such land that was nearby. She was a experiment, create something called touched by the gods and unable to be controlled by destiny. And this artificial catalyst was a very powerful tool to be able to create. And so these cultists that the group found out behind the theft of the jewel and the killing of the king wanted to use Kafir and her abilities as a catalyst, or learn from her how to create catalysts for their own gain. You never quite knew exactly what the aim of the cultists was until it was too late, in which they created the Book of Vile Darkness, and in doing so, spawned a new childlike, or not childlike, but a new young god to be birthed into the universe that was a gigantic, solid mass of shadow, and was colossal enough to destroy the entire city upon his birth out from the earth. And in his heart still beats the Book of Vile Darkness. Every step he takes on the lands, he leaves behind gigantic tendrils of darkness and evil that whatever it touches turns into some sort of monstrosity. Trees become just pure evil. Wolves become demon hounds, or the humans become undead. Various evilness basically happens. And that's where we left off, was when Kafir actually took the goblet and the jewel, took a drink from it, and brought back a certain Ellen Pyre back from the dead.
Hey!
While sacrificing her future to become the champion of the Raven Queen, which was unexpected. With such sacrifice, Bartholomew Pyre, grandfather to Ellen Pyre, decided to protect Kafir along with Takar in their time as the champion of the Raven Queen. I did read off quite an epilogue afterwards that I will not read again because it took like 30 minutes to read. And I'd recommend people not go full-heartedly into that epilogue as their character arc. Feel free to choose your own path and what you've done over the past 5 years. I just thought that to give you guys a little bit of extra flavor and a sort of closure to the campaign that wasn't just the world is ending and Kafir's gone. So that being said, I will give you guys the setting of the past 5 years, and so you guys can then bounce ideas off of each other, what you were doing for the past 5 years in game, and you can also tell each other what you want other players to know about you and your character and how they've grown, or you could even have made a new character, for all I know. So this is just a setup and is the setting of the game. So let me begin. In the past 5 years, a gigantic, colossal monster, some people call it a god, has been roaming around the world, taking large, country-spanning steps, leaving footprints that leave behind tendrils of evil. People call them the pits. People call them the steps. It doesn't matter what they call them, because what's left behind is darkness and corruption. The land is poisoned. The people are changed. Even the trees become monsters. The world is plagued by this new god or demon, and the people are struggling. Entire armies or groups of monsters have known to run across the land and consume towns and cities and peoples. And the world is teetering on the edge of extinction, effectively. Nobody trusts each other, and those who do inevitably break. If everybody can look to Roll20, I'm going to share a... sorry about the cheering in the background.
Yay!
While watching hockey games.
Yay! The world is ending. The god is destroying it.
Yeah, the world is
Yay!
ending. In fact, actually, that's one point that I'll bring up. Some of the people that do call this creature a new god are actually starting to pray to it and worship it and try to join the evilness and the monsters.
I will not stand for this.
Is
some
it just
people
me,
believe that
or has Ty been breaking up for other people as well?
I thought it was just me.
Okay.
Occasionally.
Like once every few minutes, it's like 10 seconds cuts out.
Oh, you guys should have let me know.
No, I thought it was just me. I thought it was like my messing up.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see.
It could also be my internet because Kate and I have moved to a location that's outside of the city, and our internet is not that great.
An undisclosed location.
Yeah, we might be 600 feet underground. I don't know.
They're in a safe house.
They're actually getting great reception for being 600 feet underground.
Right?
Well, I mean, we brought a line. It's
Hey,
fine.
That Tesla Starlink, bro.
That's not my internet.
Anyway.
Hashtag.
Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. Have I shared it? Yeah, go to Roll20. There we go.
Oh, whoa.
Damn.
Ooh.
So this is where we're going to start our game. Everybody will, in some way or form, start within the city, or the capital city, of Arinuli.
Are we starting this off like Lord of the Rings?
I was about to say Q in Lord of the Rings music.
Within the... pretty much. You guys are starting in the ancient capital city of Arinuli, which is within the kingdom of Tulir. Tulir is a kingdom that was predominantly owned by elves, or run, and it was basically an elvish kingdom.
Don't stop swearing.
The capital city is under siege from a humongous evil army of monsters, and just outside of this swarm of monsters is the colossal god himself, sitting and what seems to be almost sleeping for now on top of a great mountain range in the distance. Every once in a while you'll see a breath come out of him of fire, and his eyes glow purple whenever he does wake from his slumber temporarily to look around.
Isn't this where our bard tries to seduce it?
Like what you see?
So we are all there.
Everybody is, for one reason or another, inside this city. So there are multiple ways that you can say that you're in here. You could have been hired by whatever city council or group or king, maybe even. I will let you know that the Elvish, the king here is like of super royal descent and has a lot of secrets. As you'll notice that I wrote down on here, is that the city has secrets. And they're elvish secrets, so things that they do not want just normal people to know.
So,
and
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I did.
what's up?
I thought you had finished.
No. Go ahead, Pete. What's up?
So, I don't want to rise above my station. Like, if I don't know exactly what your plans for Roland may have been, but if there's a city, I want to just run this by you. Roland being one of high charisma, high persuasion, I honestly kind of feel like he's probably taking a more political role. And
I assumed that would be the case, actually. I kind of assumed that you would do that.
so, yeah, not necessarily like a king's right-hand man type guy, but definitely up there and having a good amount of persuasion, political power, especially like kind of like, okay,
What about a certain queen's right hand man?
if we were looking at the Rebel Alliance, I would
You're
say
Han Solo. to the
I'd be
queen.
Han. Yeah, like I'm not royalty. I'm definitely not royalty, but I'm
You're
definitely
literally
one of
Han Solo.
those. I'm definitely like squad leader material, someone that's
Well-
invited to the big meetings.
And the best part is we have a Wookiee.
Just so
well, I
you-
did say, like I said, you can be here on any point or like any reason why you're in the city. You could be indeed hired, or well, not hired, but like brought in to help the with this situation. And as such, you would basically be one of the people within the meetings or dealing with special missions. It could be up to you, really.
How far away is this city from our original location?
It is like half of the continent away. It is like, I'd say like maybe 4 or 3 kingdoms away from here, on the
Okay.
other side of a mountain range. So by this time, a lot of the places that you guys have previously gone to, you, by being here, can probably assume what happened to that place.
Probably not existing.
Probably. Though there is a chance that it could have survived. You just don't know because you're here. Other reasons why you could be here is that maybe you were kidnapped. These people are desperate. They might need heroes, and you guys are all level 15, which means that you're renowned heroes. You cannot avoid this. You cannot be like, oh, I'm just an unknown so-and-so. You guys are heroes. Either you are infamous or you're famous at this point. You
Roland
are
is
15
famous.
levels. So
Infamously famous.
they could have actually just kidnapped you and said, we need your help. And you wake up in a dungeon, they're like, if you don't help us, we kill you. Sort of thing.
I hope
Or,
They put the
I
dagger
hope
to
they try.
Queek's
I am
throat.
really depressed.
They put the dagger to Queek's throat, and the sheer strength of his feathers breaks the dagger.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would not be good at this point for anybody in physical contact with me.
Oh?
That wouldn't be healthy.
Yeah, you feel the hairs on your arms start to stand. That. But yes, you can come up with any reason why you're in Rinuli. You could have snuck in here for Bastion, for safety from this army, or you could be here on a political basis. I will tell you, if you have any questions about certain characters or aspects of the setting, feel free to ask them. But like I was going on with the king here, the king and the council of this town, they are very secretive, and they don't really they haven't told the general people what their plan is. So everybody's starting to get a little bit distrustful of the city council and the king and him. Everybody, especially those who are not elvish and are really treated pretty sourly, because the elves in the city tend to be very xenophobic or racist, basically.
Mm.
So it's almost like there's going to be a attempted coup during the siege. Almost like there's some sort of mini rebellion happening inside the castle. So there is tension between the general populace and the higher ups who are in charge. And even there's some sort of discord within the council as well. So you can fit yourself in there wherever you'd like.
So nobody's
be-
getting along and everything is falling apart.
Exactly. And everything, this whole situation is screaming desperation. So understand that that's kind of the theme here is drama and desperation and
I don't like drama.
you don't like drama. You're not a drama llama?
Nope.
I
No drama.
actively
No
avoid
holla drama.
So
It,
yes,
it actively puts me in a bad mood.
so to start this off, I think actually Kate, you should probably introduce your character a little bit because you're probably the most mysterious one out of the group.
I mean, her face is familiar.
Yes, well, what she's done, like how she came back from the dead and then suddenly 5 years later. So
The worst part for me is that I've had both experiences. I was with the original Kate character, but I've also my current character has no clue who it is.
yeah. So Kate,
I
if you
have
like,
no
you can
idea.
introduce.
It's like Monk or Jake has no idea. I'm very
Could
excited.
you introduce your character to an extent that you feel they would know? Because a good number of people here either don't know your character or doesn't know what's changed about your character.
Sure. So, originally...
Oh, she's really quiet.
I'll make myself louder.
Get closer to your microphone.
My microphone is attached to my head, and I can't move it any closer to me.
Wait, what headset are you using? Oh, you're
I'm
using your
using a
phone
work
one?
headset.
Go to settings, user settings in Discord. It's the little cogwheel.
She is about to blow our ears out.
Oh,
Yeah.
heck.
I got the feeling.
Turning down now in anticipation.
In voice settings, Kate, there should be input
Could be.
volume.
No!
Is that set to full?
Yeah.
All right. Now underneath it says voice activity.
Yeah.
It says is it automatically determine input sensitivity? There should be a slider that you should be able to click. Otherwise, actually no.
Okay.
Never mind. In input device, what do you have? Mm-hmm. Does it say it's at
So,
the top?
question. I'll let them do their thing real quick.
Click on it and let me know what your options are.
What's up, Monk?
Chat.
Yeah.
The BT whatever. Click on that because your default's different, probably. Okay.
Oh, we have a picture of a capital. Sorry.
So let me just unmute you for me. All right. Give it a talk there, Kate. No. I did not hear a thing.
Loud. You guys maybe just have me turn down quiet from before?
She's
No.
Honestly, it sounds like she's talking through your mic from the other end of the room. Is how it
Yeah,
sounds.
that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yep.
Well, that's because that's what she's doing right now. She's muted
Oh.
and deafened for some reason.
Hey, very-
My eardrums are.
your
waiting
perception
for it.
was very good on that, Jake.
Give me 1 sec. I'll be right.
You know, Pete, I think she said she's using the phone headset. That you told me the other day you couldn't hear me at all when I tried that. So maybe it's just something with Discord and that kind of a headset.
Possible.
Cliff, I chatted you.
Do you want to tell me this, Evil?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, I was trying to. What evil? What evil thing?
All right, never mind. All right.
So I
Go ahead.
Ty was giving a good amount of what is the word?
Description?
Yeah, description. So I wasn't able to tell you that the thing that happened with Jake is he had to leave the house for like a couple minutes and then he came back.
Jake, are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, long story short,
had to make it-
Exposition.
I-
The word was exposition.
What do you
I had to make an
what
emergency grocery store run because a key ingredient to dinner was missing.
do you-
Well, question, Jake, or comment. So, big evil thing, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, okay, and
Except that the Witch King is like 10 stories tall.
yeah, exactly. That's what's happening right now, and all of the characters are in the wall. Like, think of us if you're looking at the city, like we're all on the left, like somewhere within the walls, and then all this evil shit's coming to take over, and every place that we have, most likely but not guaranteed, has been destroyed.
Oh, that's a bit of that's a jump from what we had
Yeah.
before.
Well,
Yeah.
what, 10,
Okay.
10 years?
5.
What? Yeah, because before I know. All right, so
What was 10 years?
I confirmed, or I asked Peter earlier, and Tyler has confirmed.
it's 5. He said 5.
So yeah. So think of like the the all-seeing eye in Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah, that's
the
a
record.
that,
They
that's
have
a,
those ladders there. Why don't they just push the ladders off?
yeah. Okay.
They do.
Yeah.
But,
Do you see the front door? It's like happening down there too.
I don't know, just joking.
Anyway, so yeah. So it's been 5 years. We're all gonna have to understand, or we all have to make up. The point of the session is to make up why we're there, essentially. It could be for any reason.
So, well, I'm glad. So while we're waiting on them, so Pete, are we kind of going with the whole manga that we had before of I was keeping my promise to you and returned, but then upon arriving, everything else, something you came. I don't know what if you want to think that's something that. That's why everything else, or we succeeded. I know he even said like in that 5-year time, we don't have to give like descriptions or something, but we can say I returned and accomplished what we need to accomplish, and then we went our separate ways.
Yeah, we can say that.
There-
As of right now, we're all in
Okay.
this town. There is
Yeah.
a monster, and we're all in this town for one reason or another. You can make up the reason. As for me, I'm saying that because of Roland's
Diplomatic approach.
yeah, diplomatic, persuasive, and charismatic approach to most things that he does. I'm saying that he's basically like a higher level politician or leadership position.
The funny part is my first thing I was thinking of is the Cliff. It could simply be of, hey Cliff, well, I gotta go to the city. I might need a little muscle. Wanna come? Okay.
All right. So
That's all it would take.
Monk has been chilling. He like rebuilt a brewery. He had he met this like wife of some sort. This not wife is what it's called. And he still has Ursa. You know,
Is it like Final
that's-
Fantasy 8-ish kind of thing with Iguana whenever he's there with that chick, but he's not actually with that chick, but he ends up being with that chick kind of thing?
Yeah, no, but it's like yes, exactly. All right, so like he's still got Ursa and
All right, I'm back.
oh hey.
Hello.
All right.
Yeah, I apologize. When I saw this step, I actually had to completely leave my house there for a few minutes, so I missed a
that's
lot of the. So they were giving me the download what you all said, so I can be up to date.
Okay, good.
So I heard that the monster's dead, and that's we're actually pretty much already done with the campaign. It's just mainly going on for about 10 episodes of what we do. So that's what they told me.
No,
Yeah, totally.
that's not. He's lying.
Oh, my
Hey,
bad.
Shadow.
Give it a shot.
Whoever's talking to me, he's lying.
Um.
Oh, that's good. Yep,
Oh,
that's
you
good.
sound
There we go.
great.
Okay, so I just had to close Discord and reopen it.
Hey.
did you turn it
Have
off?
you tried
Turn
turning
it off again?
Did you try unplugging and turning back on?
So yeah, what was happening was that it was 100% just a sensitivity issue. It was defunking itself to the lowest sensitivity, or not sensitivity, volume.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
yeah. So you're all filled in, or do you
Basically, it told me like the 5-year filler. We can kind of. It's up to us how much anything else, but then we need to know why we all end up in this city one way or another, and we need to know why.
Right. The city that's under siege from monsters. The big Colossus monster is sitting on the mountain, watching basically and sleeping. And the town is in a little bit of turmoil because the leadership is not telling the people what's happening or what's going on, like what their plan is. And this is sowing a little bit of discord and distrust, especially within the communities who are not Elvish.
Is Clara there? Do we know?
Clara.
Or not Clara? Is it?
It is Clara. It's Clara.
It is Clara.
Okay.
You
Do we-
don't know. Nobody
Okay.
here knows if Clara's here or not.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. I don't want to be
would-
like.
Or do we as characters don't know?
You as characters will not know whether or not Clara's here or not.
Oh, not even Roland? I feel like I'm
Not
keeping
even
in
Roland.
touch. Hmm.
As far as everybody's concerned, Clara has disappeared.
She did. I knew
That's why
she died.
I didn't want to be
knew it.
like, I was hired by Clara to be her bodyguard. No, you weren't.
Yeah. Clara's not in this setting just yet.
Question: is Ellen going to introduce herself?
Yeah, now that she's able to actually speak to everybody, Clara should be able to introduce her character.
Did you say Clara?
Not Clara. Kate. Kate's
Yeah.
Ellen. Sorry.
Wait, I thought it was Ellen.
Ellen!
Ellen!
Hello. So for those that did not know before, Ellen was a good and kind fighter who just wanted to follow in her grandfather's footsteps and make the world a better place. Unfortunately, she got caught up with this group of miscreants, which ultimately led to her death.
Cough, cough, Roland.
What?
Perfect.
And unfortunately for Ellen, her life did not end there, because the Raven Queen had struck a deal with Ilmater and Tyr, who were fighting one side of a holy war on a different plane and needed a champion to fight their cause. And so Ellen spent 1,000 years fighting in a holy war she wanted no part of.
Oh, damn.
And every time she died, they brought her back to life to keep fighting.
Bruh.
Ellen, what are you? Are you what's your race, Ellen?
She's human.
Oh hell,
She's a very unhappy human.
Yeah, very painful. There's a lot of pain behind those eyes.
And so Ellen has come back not as a pious fighter, but as a slightly murderous barbarian.
So there's actually kind of like a dynamic between Roland and Ellen, and I don't know if it's appropriate to mention it in here or off on the side. But the original dynamic was Roland getting into hijinks, Ellen wagging her finger and being like, no, bad. That's a bad role.
And when I tell you, like, I know her, that's like my first character with Vernon. Vernon was usually right there beside Roland, also getting in trouble.
I feel like Roland kind of adapted that over the time.
That pretty much kind of happened, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
She was brought back to life.
Is that all you'd like to say,
Ellen
Kate?
immediately left the rest of the group because she had been alone for so long and was so deeply, deeply unhappy with the situation. Being brought back to life
Again.
again. And so she left to continue being a mercenary on her own terms.
So how did she get to the city?
She's doing mercenary
Her jobs
work.
brought her there.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is why we're here. Is that everybody can have their own story here. It's just getting to this everybody's story to the city is what we're here for. That's what the setup is for.
So the battle's going on right now.
Yep. The siege is happening currently, but as sieges go, they can last months.
So
Yeah.
here's what you see from Roland. Roland wakes up and he's in a beautiful bed with like giant soft fluffy pillows and blankets, and it's all pure white and gilded and gold, and it's tasteful. It's not tacky. And and you see he gets up and he
Here, let
So-
me finish this for you.
Oh,
You wake
okay.
up. I can't help myself with this.
Where's the chip?
Well-
When you wake up, you're in that exact setting. You're
Yep.
perfect. Everything's nice. You're a little bit confused as to why you're here, but then you realize, oh yeah, you've always been here. This is your place.
Yeah.
You hear a muffled groaning from the bed. And you hear Clara say, "Oh, go back to bed. It's
Oh dear, look, it's time to get up. There's much to do. There's still a war going on out there.
Yeah, just don't make me go out there for another hour, please.
Look, you get some rest and I'll get some coffee going.
This will be a while before she joins. How's she join? He's in his bed.
She rolls over and she grabs Roland's arm and she goes, "Please, it's so cold."
I
know where
know
this is
going.
You know I can't say no.
And with that,
Roland-
Roland, you go back into the bed and you cuddle up to her. And all is right. And then you wake up, coughing, fur all over your mouth,
Yes!
and a very disgruntled Chipper is currently squeaking his way out from your grasp.
It's actually Rocky.
Okay, Rocky. Sorry, I forgot. Right.
Yeah.
Rocky,
really good.
younger.
Good job.
Yep.
Rocky, what? Where are we? What happened?
Who's Rocky?
You're in a well-to-do
Where's
hotel.
Chipper?
You'll learn, guys. Just wait.
Yeah. Pete, you wake up. You're in pretty much the same setting, just a little bit less warmth, a little bit less grandeur. You're just in a really expensive hotel.
And no Clara.
Well, hold up, sir. I mean, I was on a track to one thing, but
sorry.
remember,
But no, that's funny.
I have my mansion now.
I forgot. You
Even better!
Oh yeah.
So, if I may, roll the.
Continue. Please continue with your grandeur. It's just as grand as before. Sorry.
I
forgot,
do
you know?
I do wake up from the dream of Clara because I had used the dream spell to meet with her in the night. That being said, you see Roland wakes up and
actually, that's a thing. The dream spell doesn't work.
what?
You were in contact with her, but since she's disappeared, she's not been responding to your dream spell.
Oh no, it's just a standard dream. Oh well, I'm a good lucid dreamer, so it's still pretty good. Roland wakes up and he sits up in his bed with his big fluffy blankets, the pure white and gilded gold, and he stands up to like a large oak wooden dresser, and he gets his clothes ready, and you see a small looking raccoon, a very young baby raccoon, on a big fluffy pillow, like giant pillow sunk in the center. There's a little raccoon, and Roland just kind of gives it a pat, and he walks over, and he leaves, and a servant comes and brings him a cup of tea and a scone, and he's sipping, and as he's leaving, he calls for Rocky. Rocky, come on, It's time to go. And as he's leaving, he reaches over to the wall where
Squeak.
his oh no, this is a young Squeak. And he reaches over to the wall and he picks up his father's loot. It's been polished. It's everything. Like, Roland looks fantastic. He looks marvelous. And you see he takes a deep breath and opens the door. And by the way, everything is quiet except for like some classical music that's just kind of echoing through the halls of the house. Everything is serene and perfect and beautiful. And Roland opens the door and exits, and he pulls an item off of a tree behind him and shoves it into a satchel. And we see there was no house. It was a tree. It was all just a tree. And he steps into a battlefield with people just like all that serene and calm, steps out his front door, and there's just chaos. And he goes, looks like it's going to be another eventful day.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, and you start hearing
Robin Hood, Little John running through the forest.
no, what's the song that they play during the trailer to Fallout 3?
I don't want
yeah,
to
that
set
one.
The world on fire.
And you get the panoramic view around.
Oh, that's perfect.
Roland, where the world is just like everything is fire and destruction, and you just ended up in the middle of this.
I just want to see a spark in your eyes.
Such a good song.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Well, if that's his theme song, I want my theme song to be "That's Life" by Frank. That's life.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
So, does an electric guitar have an equivalency in this? Because I'm thinking Thunderstruck.
Oh. Oh, yes. So, okay, hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me check out my spells real quick.
Yeah, you have that one where you can like increase the noise to like humongous like megaphone style voicing thing, but you can do it with sound as well.
Check this out, okay? So, granted, maybe the wording is a little bit off, but one of the spells that I picked up is we can say that there's like a crowd of enemies in front of Roland as I come out of my mansion, right?
Well, technically you're inside the city. Everything outside of the city walls is safe. No, not outside. Inside the city walls is safe. There's no fighting in the city.
Oh.
And outside the city is just death. You step out there, no matter how godly you are, you'll die.
Oh boy.
So what's mostly happening is that like it's during that period of time where people are just getting starved out during the siege. There's no active fighting just yet, but there is from time to time like squabbles. Somebody will get too open on the walls, and like a hail of arrows will shoot down, and everybody goes into chaos for a little bit. There'll be an attempt once in a while of like breaking down the doors. Sieging is a very long process.
That
There's
drawn
no
out
active...
and starving process.
Yeah, there'll be like an initial like brunt assault to be like, hey, we're knocking down your doors sort of thing. But usually after that, it's just sitting and waiting.
So
that's it.
Let's it doesn't have to, it can just kind of be sometime in the past. I like this idea of there is like during one of those surge sieges on the castle, on the town, and there's just like a flood of enemies that come in, and Roland just kind of steps out and he takes his loot from behind his back, and he just he starts playing Thunderstruck, just and he's just bobbing his head real quick, and it starts getting louder and louder, and then he just gives that big A chord, down, down, out, down, 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 and at that point, so like I said, the wording's a little bit differently, but as that wave of enemies is about to hit him, that loud A chord is a spell called Synaptic Static.
Right.
This is the psychic version of Fireball. Basically, that group of enemies makes an intelligence saving throw, and if they fail, everyone that fails takes 8d6 of psychic damage.
Isn't there another effect from that though?
Huh?
Or was it just the psychic damage?
After a failed save, they also have muddled thoughts, and they have to, they lose attack ability and saving throw ability.
James.
Yeah. But yeah, I can definitely see Cleek with Thunderstruck as well.
Yeah.
Because he is the Thunderstrike.
So that is Roland's current situation, and everyone else can do theirs.
Yeah. So yeah. Anybody have questions or want to fill in with their character, like ideas for why their character's in the town?
Oh, 100%. I just going through my spell list. I already had kind of an idea that I figured would fit pretty well, but then this just makes it even better. Hold on. Alright, you know what? I can't...
Hurry.
You know what? You have 3 people. I'll keep this stream up. Because I can, sort of half hear myself in the background, even with it super quiet. So can I just say that when we kind of parted ways, this is actually where I ended up, settling down on for now, especially with the high concentration of elven population. There's probably someone, or more people within this town that would even know who Eredri Fania even is.
Probably.
Versus the more human-dominated settlements.
Sure.
So somewhere
so you want this to be where you set up your
yeah, I really like the backstory thing, except I really wouldn't have been aging that much. I would be in my mid to late 30s, give or take. Versus,
I wasn't so much saying that you were super old. I was just saying that when you get to your 30s, you tend to be like, oh, my back hurts now. Yay.
Yeah,
I'd
be mid to late 30s.
I can concur with that.
You got a little. I like my. Sorry, Flint has a little bit of gray in his beard now, just where you assume his chin would be.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that Cleek was getting old. I was just saying that he's older and he's feeling the effects of it. I mean, he's now no longer in his 20s. He's definitely
he's no longer a spring chicken.
You get up in the morning and you do that back stretch thing and everything cracks.
Yep, pretty much. And that's what I meant by the whole not as spry as he used to be sort of thing.
Oh god, his avian bones.
Yeah, his avian bones. crack pop. Cleek falls over dead.
Because of a morning stretch. But anyway, so I would say that I ended up here, similar situation, except for the first year or so that I was here, I made myself a nice little establishment.
I assume that would be the case.
So,
wow, you.
Well, I put it in chat. That's the spell description. So, but casting it in the same spot every day for a year, it causes this to be permanent.
Are we getting a teleportation circle?
No.
Oh,
is it? Actually, does it?
Teleportation kind of works the same way, but Temple of the Gods, I'm interested in this.
So essentially, because it's been at least a couple of years, I wouldn't say I was here the whole 5 years. I've made a more or less permanent small temple.
Nice.
I wouldn't say that it would be super popular because she's not like a major elven deity, but if any Avariel or Aarakocra happens to be in the city, then this might be a deity that they patron.
Okay. Did you want there to be other Aarakocras in this city?
I mean, that's up to you. That's the world set that you make.
No, you players are equally as influential on the world as the DM. So if you want
I would
there,
say a small-ish population, like.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not going to say there's going to be a large population. I just mean Aarakocra. Like, if there's even one in a city, there's a number of Aarakocra in a city now.
Yeah, but there would also they wouldn't be.
But they're not unheard of. They're just rare.
But they would also be more likely to be in cities that are not. Well, they would be more likely to be in elven cities than say a human city or a dwarven city.
Yeah. So yeah, I could definitely say that you've found a few other Aarakocra that are
just enough
followers of this belief, and yeah. So
this would be more to like, because I promised to be like this. I'm now 100% dedicated to her will and what she wants.
Which is an interesting concept because I've been reading more on her character, and her wants are literally chaos.
Yes. Just the world, and it's not like chaos.
Not in chaos as in
like anarchy. It's chaos as in like the world is
anarchy. Like chaos as in like what's chaos theory almost.
Yeah. I was thinking like Goldblum.
Yeah, like Goldblum's chaos theory. Like the whole like things can't be repeated, and as such should probably not.
Everything
and
is
Malcolm's chaos theory. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole chaos theory of just like everything is unpredictable and predictable at the same time.
So I would say that this cataclysm is more like it followed me here. Like I just kind of I settled down, found a nice spot to follow through with my promise, and then now this
happens. All right, well that seems fitting. So you set up yourself a little temple, and you've decided to settle down with your religion here, and it just so happened to be the same city that these monsters have decided to siege.
Well, it's probably not. Is it the first major?
Oh no,
siege?
it's not the first. It
just happens to be the one that I'm in, and it's now it's here.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So you're what would you call your character then? Like, would you be Brother Cleek, or would you be like Saint Pete? Or Cleek, sorry, not Pete. Cleek. Would you be?
How about Thunderbird?
Thunderbird. Oh, you can be Nimki Bene. That is Nimki Bene is Thunderbird in I forget what language it was.
I feel like that would be more not so much of an official title, but what a couple of followers might have like snarkily started like calling me that behind my not just like behind my back, but like I wouldn't call myself that, but other people might.
They could call you Quetzalcoatl, the Mayan Thunderbird of Lightning.
Zapdos.
I choose you.
Which is funny because I actually I'm Instinct.
Oh my god.
But anyways, yeah, I would say that like I wouldn't call myself that. I would probably be a little more humble. I wouldn't be like saint anything, so brother or something along those lines. Like to be more of a servant rather than putting any real amount of importance on myself.
You could be the cardinal.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
So
That was one of the most excited names I think I've ever heard Pete say.
so funny.
It was Nimki Benenke, I think. Benesi. Benesi, that was it. It is Ojibwe. Sorry. Thunderbird. I remember this because I went to a school that had the Thunderbird as their mascot. It's like a Canadian First Nations thing.
They had a Ford Thunderbird as a mascot?
Eagles and Bobcats.
And one of my friends, his name was...
What? What was his name?
Literally cut out. Literally cut out.
Your mic
His
literally
name was...
cut out the name.
It's the internet. But his name was Nimki. Nimki, or Anamiki Benese, meaning
that almost sounds
Thunderbird.
like... That almost
It's like
sounds like a
it's like you
native
apologize for dramatic
name.
effect, and its name is.
It is. It's a First Nations name. It's
Oh,
Ojibwe.
okay. I didn't catch that.
So, I'm sorry, I was a little distracted with Cleek. Can you give me a 15-second rundown of what happened with Cleek?
Oh, me or
Whoever, no matter.
Oh, I know. I was just gonna. I ended up settling here after we split up, after wandering around for a bit, and founded a small temple in the city because the Elvish community is probably a little bit more along the lines of the deity that I found out was actually my patron. And I did promise to dedicate myself to said deity towards the end of the second chapter. So
Yeah,
this
as
was
you might
my way
remember.
is to... I started up this small temple specifically using the Temple of the Gods spell. And if done every day for 1 year, and it takes an entire hour to cast. But if done in the same spot for an entire year, the effect becomes permanent, and it essentially becomes this, like a kind of a permanent holy site.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So
And,
you just happen to choose the right area.
Oh, well, I mean, like I was asking Ty, this is not the first city that's been sieged. It just happens to be getting sieged now.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's more like it finally caught up to where I ended up settling down, and now it's like, crap, it's hitting the fan again.
Cool. Okay. Sorry, I was like talking. All right.
How
perfect.
dare you talk?
Oh, I
no.
was typing, and that's why I started muting because I'm like, my keyboard's really loud.
Talking during a role-playing game? What?
I was role
How
playing.
dare you?
How...
You bastard.
I'm making bacon with macon.
So Monk or James or CJ, do you guys want to go? You want me to go?
Sure. Yeah. So Monk, these fine years, right, has been living in a nice country farmland, and his wife, not wife, I should say, Inga, was
At this point, it's probably common law.
no, yeah. Well, see, the thing is, we thought it would be common law, but like the land that we're in doesn't acknowledge common law. So
Right, they're on Napoleonic law.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so it's like it's rock hard place. You know what I mean? You know, as a master brewer, and after my time of serving the Brotherhood, I decided it's time to serve the general public, and I created this brewery. And you know, with the help sign in the window, Tinga comes along, and we sort of fall in love. But she is not my wife.
Note that Tinga would not classify herself as falling in love.
Monk has fallen in love with Tinga. And it's more of a, God, I love that woman. And she's like, yeah, you know. And
Keep writing me those checks.
exactly. So a fellow traveler has come across the bar, and Monk hears of this very strange, evil creature. And as we all know, Monk cannot stand evil, and he will not tolerate evil. So, he developed a friendship with a fellow dwarf, and writes said dwarf a letter, letting him know that there is evil among us, and he is coming to take our side of, I guess, the land. He's coming to take the land. And that dwarf just so happens to be Flint. Take it away, CeeLo.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm not very good at this. But so I had my library in the woods, and I had been stocking up on books about different deities. Very large section on mine, though, like a whole bookshelf. And then trying to do any kind of research I could on the beast that's causing all of this, but I'm kind of grasping at straws, and I'm not finding anything definitive. And then one day I receive a letter from Monk to meet him at the brewery monastery place.
Monk's Monastery.
Monk's Monastery place.
Where you pray very hard to the point where you forget that you were praying beforehand. And then you continue praying the next day.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, it's always at night, too, for whatever reason.
And you pray and pray and pray until you can't pray anymore because you've ran out of pray juice.
Do you mean wine?
No.
We only drink beer.
Prayer. You know, it's made out of
it sounds like wine to me.
Hops and honey and it's prayer.
Cool.
I'm with you, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. All right, keep going. You see, you got the letter?
I did get the letter, and I took off post haste.
So we meet up at the monastery, and Tinga is like, like she already knows who we are at this point. Like, you know, to each its own kind of thing. Birds of a feather flock together kind of thing. So she already knows who Fleek is, and she's never met the man. All right, and we have our kind of like little dwarven powwow, and we decide we cannot stand for this. So we are army.
Correct.
Exactly. Army of two. You know, mercenaries on a mission to destroy said beast.
But
said
not
monster.
quite mercenaries, because nobody agreed to any kind of money.
We are said warriors.
Warriors.
It sounds like an actual conversation between Flint and Monk. We are mercenaries going to fight the evil demon. We're not actually mercenaries. We're not getting paid.
We are warriors, but we really don't go frontline. Avengers.
We stand in the back.
We stand in the back.
We're cheerleaders.
And
Let us bless you in words and rum.
So I cast Find Steed, and just so happens some little wild Mustang comes out of the wilderness, and we head towards the city.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that you and Flint got drunk one night, decided to fight the evil god monster, and then set off on a drunken bar run or bar hopping session to get to the demon.
It turns
Correct.
out it actually
Essentially.
wasn't a stallion. It was some random person's donkey.
Since it's a donkey, it's clean.
Quickly, hop on my ass.
My ass from my elbow. Alright. So I'm on a donkey, but it's the fastest donkey of them all.
His name's Mustang.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! What if it was an owl bear?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Like they're just creeping up to this owl bear that's just like growling at them, and they're just like, hey horsey, and it's like,
so I am on my neighbor's donkey Mustang, named
God,
Mustang, you could say, and Flint is on an actual horse.
No, I like the idea better of you. This is a drunken adventure, so I'm on
All
the
right,
back
I'm
with you.
carting him. We stole the cart along with the donkey, and we are hastily making our way towards.
I think more of it was a borrowed with no intent of getting it back.
Yeah, it was a borrow. Don't worry.
So yeah, that's where we are. We are either en route or in the city, Dungeon Master.
You finally sober up, and it's like, where the hell did this stuff come from?
Yes, but we do have a barrel of the finest brew in this side of the continent.
Oh, great. You're going to be shilling your stuff, aren't you?
Hey, it doesn't matter. I have a magical flask.
It doesn't stop you from shilling your own stuff.
It does not matter.
Alright. So,
Wait a minute.
I like
Aren't
this.
you a paladin?
You get there and the barrel is half empty.
Wait.
I'm like,
I'm a
Monk,
born again Christian.
Monk,
all right?
aren't you a
Born-again
paladin?
Yes, born again.
You
paladin.
can't get drunk. That's even better.
I'm a born again paladin. All right, like
He
that's
also, as I believe, has a tankard that is literally the tankard of sobriety.
He get drunk. That's even better. He's pretending to be drunk, meanwhile making conscious decisions.
yes. But I do make the best ale. I
Man,
do.
have you ever heard of the drunken monk style?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh goodness! All right. So that's interesting. So you guys decide that you want to fight the evil monster.
Yes.
Flint,
Yeah,
you've made some sort of research on the monster, but haven't really gotten too much headway. And so you
Right.
decided to go confront it head on, and found that it was sieging a town, and somehow made your way into the city.
Yes.
Okay.
I can see Flint actually is drunk. He looks at Monk and goes, "Oh, dog, we just fucked up."
No. Us dwarves have to stick together, and they will not take our land. We are a militia of two.
It's a tactical retreat. Tactical retreat.
Yes, Misty Step, motherfucker.
All right.
With dark
What are you doing
with
over
dark
there?
vision.
No, come over here.
With dark vision.
I have dark vision.
Yes.
I do that joke by making my mouth pretty much kissing my microphone and over blowing out people's ears, but I won't do that.
I have dark.
Anyway, so who's next? Does anybody have any questions or wish to talk about their character going into the city?
CJ, you there?
Yeah.
That's it. You can go. I'll go last. You go.
Did Cliff, by chance, are you using what Ty said the last time at all? Like you were building a home for
Oh, yeah.
her and stuff?
Yep.
Okay, maybe, since I feel like we became very good friends, you maybe told me about what you were doing. So after we split up, I don't know. Maybe I was training and came to visit you once in a while.
Well, initially, I guess we can go. We can tag team this if you want. I made a promise to Roland that whenever he returned home, that I would go and help him, battle whatever comes out. And after we completed that, is when I guess basically Cliff wanted to keep himself very busy and not think about things, considering everything he seemed to have done went bad, even though he had good intentions. He flat out hashtag died, or still died, as we were saying earlier. Still dead. So for it, and got brought back to life, and then immediately come back to life. The one thing he's been protecting and basically had to, nothing else now, just walked away, and he had to let go, which was very difficult for him. So he kind of kept himself busy for the first couple of years with Roland, and then once they finally kind of finished their little side quest, he did go off into the woods that kind of surrounds Faerun, where he's from, and was trying to basically keep himself busy building a house and keep him thinking, yeah, one day she's coming back, one day she'll be back. And just as they kept, every time it seemed like he was just about done, they'd be raided or something, monsters attack, and everything would get destroyed. And he kind of started going down a bit of a dark path for a while. One day, though, he did get a mysterious letter telling him he needed to come to the city. And the weird part for him is that the sigil on it was the one of his father, who he had never met.
Oh.
So they afford him. So he set out there thinking that maybe his dad was reaching out to him finally for it. But he has, on the way though, once they kind of got that, it kind of gave him a little bit of a wake up moment. Actually, I can actually plug, with being good friends with Tatsu, I think that Tatsu probably could have helped him out a lot too. He comes to kind of realize he's always blamed himself for his mother's death. And now that he legit basically died in the exact, not death-wise manner, but still died protecting a child, in a sense, he kind of forgives himself a little bit. And because it's Cliff, he does take her words of take care of yourself very, very seriously. So he's kind of mastered some new skills at taking care of himself. And also, he's going to have a bit of it. So, what's that?
Does he bathe now?
I bathed before.
Like more
in acid, don't you remember? He bathed in acid.
Yeah, I mean, how much longer?
At least once.
There's a flea there.
Yeah, once you go to acid bath, you're good for a couple of years.
I was going to be mean and say that I brought you a shirt that said I was disintegrated and all I got was this shirt. I thought it was a good gift.
Thank God,
baby.
And Cliff can't read, so he just goes, "Oh, thanks, buddy." Where remind me everyone I'll be wearing that shirt.
I know exactly where you got that shirt from too.
Cedar Point.
That was definitely a shirt that you got from Xanathar.
All right.
Oh, you guys,
a beholder, by the way.
You guys are finding this hilarious. Well, anybody that actually knows what and who Xanathar is, my in-person Monday session, we just accidentally killed Xanathar outright.
How did you kill Xanathar? Why?
Oh no, it wasn't intentional. It had to do with I think it was a card from the Deck of Many Fates.
Oh no.
And somebody said Xanathar's name. Yeah, he kind of died. Like, just random dead. No more Xanathar. Oops.
So yeah, to just fill people in, Xanathar is a beholder that is kind of eccentric and insane, and he has a pet goldfish.
Sildar.
Oh, the goldfish is now in charge of what he used to be.
Oh yes, of course. Xanathar is basically the purveyor of great ancient and interesting things, and a seller of a sorts. Anyway, back to this. So Cliff was traveling now, and Tatsu is helping in some way. That's basically what I got from this.
Like I said, so starting off, the Cliff kind of just put off everything that happened. Like, yeah, died. So what? Oh, she's gone. So what? I gotta help Roland out. Okay, cool. Now I gotta build a place, and they're not back. Why they're still not back? And that was kind of like one of those kind of ordeals and stuff for him. And it probably took a visit from someone like Tatsu to kind of get him motivated again. And then probably for a while, he just probably kind of roamed and started, just kind of becoming himself, kind of figuring out, kind of maturing, because he was only 19 during that one. Now he's 24, so that's a bit of a leap when you're at that age and stuff too. So, but nothing else as well. So, And then that's I would say he came across one day. He was kind of wandering about, and that's when he mysteriously had a letter from. And said it could be his dad. You know, it might not have been. It might have just been someone we don't know. But he just found his letter that says, you know, you must to go to. I don't know how to pronounce this city name. Talir. Is that what we're at?
The city's name is Arinuli.
Oh, okay, Arinuli. So he, of course, just goes, I run this place. I will go to this place. He does recognize his dad's sigil, though, so, or his father's sigil. So, and that was one of the things that he has. Because one thing I never really came across was I do have 3 beads in my hair, which are promise beads. Anytime I make a vow or promise, I make a bead in my hair or mane. And so one of them is that I told my mom told me to find my father one day or search my dad one day. So I feel obligated to do so. So as soon as I see that, I basically beeline right to the city.
Huh.
Okay. I'm here to support my friend.
He's my support Tatsu.
So,
Yeah. And maybe
support
we
dragon.
also heard about, you know, maybe I was training and helping fight wherever I needed to before we went off on this journey, and we heard of Roland too in the same city being super important now, right? That's
You would
the thing.
Tatsu would definitely be more in the know of people than I would be. I really won't care. I'll see a Roland and go, oh look, it's Roland. But other than that, I'm not gonna think of Roland at all, like in the between or anyone, except for probably Tatsu.
You totally forgot who Roland is at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
might I inject something into a couple people's stories?
Sure.
Okay.
No one forgets about
First
Roland.
of all, Roland, you've definitely been keeping in touch with Clara.
Okay.
Most definitely. Though, what you've been hearing from her is that she's been taking a very militant response recently to this whole God thing. And she's very active in fighting against it and trying to protect people. And this is where I think your influence of being a bit more political with his movements have been coming from, is that she's also been kind of a driving force behind it. So you're kind of assisting her in this, and she is not necessarily fully like engaging in sort of a relationship with your character, but
Okay.
she's not shooting it down either.
Like a will they, won't they?
Yeah, it's like she's like, yeah, I definitely like, I would definitely
Different
like
time.
to have a relationship, but right now is not the best time. There is literally a monster crushing cities under its feet.
Different time, different place.
It's in a
Doesn't that mean
quieter
that
time.
doesn't that mean that this is the best time, because there might not be another time?
Somebody's telling me no.
But
Or
anyway,
not.
so that's basically what you're getting from her when it comes to your visits in dreams and such that you had.
Okay.
Is that she's definitely like she's busy, but she's not putting you down either.
All right.
Haven't been friend zoned yet.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance, yeah. But also, Tatsu. I'm not saying when or why, because Pete and Jake here, we've discussed a potential side game, like a short story of what happened during the 5 years, specifically with Cliff and Pete, Roland, fighting his little lich problem back at home, because he has something to do with finding his mother and going back to his hometown and killing the man that tried to kill him and all that jazz. But anyway, we're gonna basically in the future, and maybe after this campaign's over, have a couple one-shots where we tell the story.
Ooh.
And there would be a couple things that would kind of that would have happened during those 5 years that affects this game, but at the same time we should not be talking about it very much. Or at least I can't fill you in. They have to be vague is my point, because
It's canon. It's loosely canon.
It's loosely canon, but it has to be vague. So a good example of that will be that Cliff, you have at this point of time in the game a piece of a tiefling's horn, specifically Kafur's horn,
What the hell?
which you have fashioned into a doorknob.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
That makes sense.
Okay.
For the remember how you said that you built a house for
Yeah.
Well, one of the knobs was to her room was going to be from the horn that you got from her, and that is going to be a story during one of those one shots. Is that somehow at some point you got Kafur's horn between the last campaign and now?
Oh.
Okay.
So that implies that you may or may not have either seen or been near where Kafur was during that time.
Hmm.
But we can't really talk about it because it's not solidified as to what happened, and we can't do that until we do the actual one-shots.
Okay.
On that same note, Tatsu,
Mhm.
Bartholomew, he taught you a few moves before, and he is primarily a monk himself. So he kind of instilled in you a bit of like a teacher vibe, right?
Yeah.
I would say that you've at least seen him once since. Like he came and visited you to help you out.
Oh, so he
So
came.
maybe during your training
Your training could have been with them.
yeah.
Okay.
that you were talking about, you said that you were like potentially doing some
Training.
training. Yeah,
and
I would
helping
say that maybe
progress.
Bartholomew during those 5 years came and visited you and gave you some one-on-one training.
Oh, say for Tatsu, I will say that probably, like with him being his Cliff's best friend, is I probably wouldn't be like for the city. You're probably the only Tatsu's probably the only one that Cliff's fully confided things in, so you kind of know the backstory. So I feel like I probably would have searched you out before going there, just so I could show you what I found and kind of get your input, and so we could head there together.
Okay. Did you tell me that you smoked that cigarette with him?
I didn't meet him.
Well, that was in the last campaign. Like you two were alone after I trained with him, and I picked up his marijuana cigarette. I'm just gonna call it that. And you're like, "Don't do that. He won't like that." And then I walk away, and then he talks to you, and you smoke it with him.
You did.
You did
You
that.
did do that.
I remember that.
I'm just saying, it might have hurt me just a little bit if you told me that.
I forgot all about that.
I forgot that too. Oh.
I just remember that.
Oh man, that was great.
But that works. So Bartholomew trained me a little bit in those 5 years. That's cool.
Huh. All right. So yes. So that's Cliff, Flint, Cleek, Roland, Tatsu, Monk, and Ellen. So Kate, how did Ellen get into the town? Like, why is she here?
She had been given a bounty to collect someone, and she did, and this is where she was supposed to bring them.
Okay.
They were a fugitive from the law, and the bounty was pretty old, but I mean, she'll do what she can. So it was pre-war. She's just kind of been here since then.
All right. So you were basically just doing like a bounty hunter job, and then came back to the place where you need to deposit the guy, and you're like, oh, it's under siege now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
She was just kind of like, well, I feel like I'm not going anywhere fast. May as well hang around here for a bit, do what I can. See if anyone wants to give me money to kill things.
How much money did you say we all had to start this?
10,000.
Okay, I was right. Hey, look at me, remember that.
1 million copper.
1 million copper pieces.
I mean, wouldn't that just be 10,000 gold, or
No,
10,000?
It's a
Yeah,
million copper pieces. It's way more.
Than 10,000 gold. Actually, it's just 1,000 platinum.
That's what it is. It's 1,000 plat, right? So I'm trying to. I just realized I have 200
But-
pounds just gold.
But there's more pieces of copper
Oh,
than there are
actually,
of gold.
what was that you guys were talking about money?
It would be
'Cause
platinum.
I missed a massive chunk of that.
Oh, yeah. 10,000 gold pieces is like an extremely large amount of weight. So you'd actually have to convert that to platinum or buy yourselves each individually a handy haversack or
I suppose I
mean-
could store it in my mansion.
you could also do that, or you can put it in a bank. But I don't
Roland
think
doesn't trust
putting in
banks.
money into banks right now
Well,
is a good idea.
do you-
considering
my-
represent-
Hey, do
My
you think
question-
they stay in the mansion, or do they disappear when it disappears?
What?
no, the mansion's
Yeah, that's my mansion, and it comes around with me.
No, I'm saying
Hey,
like
it's its
you have
own
to
dimension.
use it. I thought it was like a spell that dissipates after a while
It
and like reappears.
normally
Does the-
yes, but so what I did was
well, even with the spell, like it's the same dimension every time that you summon it. It's just the
Oh.
gateway disappears after time.
I think it was Critical Role. I the one that you showed me. I think that the stuff that goes in it doesn't stay. I was just curious how you were doing it.
I think that might be with a different one where it's a not necessarily a mansion. It's like a
Mordecai's Magnificent Mansion. That's
Was
what
it
it
Mordecai?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morden Canaan's.
Mordecai, it's
Mordecai.
whatever.
Mordecai is
I like
something different.
You know what? All I know is the cube. Okay, that's all I know. The 1 inch by 1 inch Smurf penis.
The gelatinous cube.
No, I think he knows what I'm talking about now.
I do.
You're the one who showed me that.
Oh, yeah. But no, it's supposed to be your own creation. So, anyway, there's ways to work around it. Anyway,
Okay, I was just curious.
So, yeah, I'm really excited to start playing this campaign. Can we just start playing right now?
we can't. I haven't prepared anything physical for you guys to like interact with. It would all have to be word of mouth, and as fun as that is, I do have to create combat encounters.
I don't
So-
want one. Well, Mr. Dark Shadow, can you at least? So, like, are we on our way to the city, or are we
We're
sleeping in the city?
We're there.
You are inside the city, and getting out is almost certain death at this point.
Okay, so what is Flint and Monk doing at this point in time?
Well, I assume that you guys are in the
Sleeping
town.
off a nasty hangover.
Yeah, probably either
Hold on.
drinking or
Only Flint
sleeping.
is slipping off a nasty hangover because he got you fucked up and then made you make really bad decisions while he was sober.
Hold on.
He like it's like you
I
know
make
like
bacon
when
and
you
eggs.
take your drunk
I'm
friend to
making
get a
bacon and eggs at
tattoo.
this point.
That's what he did to you, but with you're gonna go hit a god. You want to go punch this god, dude? That sounds
Yep.
so
Yep.
cool.
There's only one god that I know of.
Well, I mean, you're in a world full of gods.
There's
You-
only
you-
one
you-
god that means a shit. Then
You sound like Captain America. They say there's only one God, ma'am, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
so
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot my deity.
all right. So, Mr. Dark Shadow, what happened to Mustang? Because I feel like he's not really my chipper, but like I'm gonna have to keep tabs on him because I do intend in returning Mustang, the donkey.
The donkey died.
No, the donkey did not die. I owe my neighbor 10 donkeys, and ain't nobody got time for that.
Did you roll a charisma check to tell the donkey to stay and then fail and he walked away?
You mean like the handler? Like
I mean,
the guy like taking care of said donkey while I'm apparently gonna fight this shit?
Well, don't you want to take your
What
your
five?
steed?
That was a I got a +5, and I still rolled an 8. BT
Wait.
dub.
Okay, well, that seems better than before.
Ah, buddy. Why?
Alright. So yeah, Monk, to answer your question, you guys are in the city, probably trying to contact somebody who's in charge, so that you can plan some sort of a fight back to the or push back towards the monster, or plan to kill the monster.
Yeah.
That being said, though, like I said at the very beginning of this, the city of Arinuli itself has a great many secrets in it. So it might actually be that a way to kill the said god or demon might actually be held within the city.
Okay. So right now we're just like kind of wandering the streets.
Yeah, you could say that. Wandering the streets, you're in a tavern, or you're trying to contact,
All right,
ask
okay.
people, like, okay, who's in charge? Kate, you'd be in the city as well, probably going, bringing in this convict, and they'd probably be like, fine, but why? The world's ending. And you're just like, the world's always ending. Mine's ended like 16 times already.
The end of the world is no reason for there not to be justice.
That
Justice
sounds
wrath.
That sounds like the old Ellen I know.
Well, yeah, it's still Ellen, Roland, but it's Ellen with a lot more teeth, basically.
Ellen with anger.
Well,
She is righteous fury.
so
now, if she finds us trying to blow up a town, she's going to kill us and then stop it.
Maybe.
Just so I know, for purposes of the stream, is this session pretty much over, or?
Yep, this session's pretty much over.
Okay.
I think what I'm doing right now is I'm just finalizing for everybody.
Okay.
What's gonna what's happening.
Because
yeah,
I know that we're about to talk for like 20 more minutes of just other stuff.
Yeah, but right now I'm just gonna finalize it, and then I'd recommend closing your stream after that. Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty. So, Cleek, you set up a sort of monastery temple to your deity, your patron, and you've created sort of a small following. Small in terms of what other temples have, which is like thousands of people. You have maybe 100, 200 followers there around.
I mean, hey, that's more than I would have hoped for.
But most of them aren't super devout. They're just like passing, sort of like I just came here to pray to the god. Like,
I mean,
I'm not like
chaos. It's not.
Yeah.
Everything is constantly changing.
Yeah. So like you typically, your mass basically, or your equivalent of mass, is maybe 30 people at best at a time. But you know that there's about 200 people who follow your religion, similar to your religion at the very least, in this city. So you have some social standing in this town. Not the greatest, but you do have quite a bit of social standing. Cliff, you're in town with Tatsu now? Because you're looking for your father, and Tatsu's coming along to help.
I don't necessarily know if it's my father. I had a note that said I needed to go, if I wanted to find answers, I needed to start here. And
Animal
that's just,
instinct?
yeah,
Gut
nothing else.
feeling.
So, and it had his sigil on it, so that's just, that kind of like motivated me.
Yeah, so like it might not be your father, but you're looking for your father is the thing, because that was your promise, right?
Correct.
It doesn't mean that you'll find him. I'm just saying that, that's the reason you're here.
Correct.
And so you completely ignored the whole siege thing and just decided this is where my father is, I'm going to do this. My point is like, it doesn't affect you, is my point. Like, is that how you're going to play this?
I mean, I'm still going, if people are in need of her, I'm still going to find, I'm going to help in a sense, but I'm not, my priority A is to be looking at for my, any more signs of my dad, or why would he, like, is there a reason, why would he tell me to come here, is point A, and then point B in the meantime is, maybe I can kill some monsters and protect people in the meantime. then that's what I'll do.
Tatsu, you're just helping? Is that all? Or was there something else?
No, with my time, training, I was just helping wherever I could help fight, and then, checking in on Cliff and finding out he needs to go look for someone very important. So I thought I should just, help him. While heading to the town where I probably heard of Roland becoming super famous, maybe. I don't know, super famous, but at least he's renowned as fuck.
Right. And on to that, Roland, you're in town, probably in some sort of not a noble so much as just like someone who is an advisor, probably trying to either help or organize some sort of defense. Who knows? You might even be one of the forefronts of the people not necessarily attempting the coup, but trying to figure out why the higher ups aren't doing anything.
Maybe
it's your call, but what I'm saying is that you are actually actively involved.
He definitely, or not actually, but anything that has to do with using his mind and thinking, Roland's the way to go. So
literally, you said you are actively involved in and then I dropped.
in the management of the town, basically.
Okay.
In some small way.
In some small way, like you are the bed fluffer.
Yeah.
I don't think that means
I'm
what you think it
probably
means.
more